Welcome to this small but very informative presentation. I'm Dr. J.W. Morrison from New South Wales, Australia, theologist since 1994. Now I've also got a YouTube channel which is called Part1 Theologist. It talks on theology and cults and religious recovery, and topics that are related to primarily theology. A lot of stuff about the Jehovah's Witnesses on that channel. Over 1,000 presentations on my channel. So there's plenty of stuff there you can have a look at. It may not all suit, but there's some really informative presentations, biblically and in terms of cult behavior. So on the channel it looks at theology, cults, religious topics and religious recovery. So there's a little bit about my channel. Don't be frightened to subscribe. I'd appreciate that, not for the monetized aspect of the channel because it's not monetized, but just for the encouragement. And please press the bell for new releases as I bring them out. Now, I've been a little bit slow lately because I've had a broken arm and leg, but we'll get through that, as you can see with this presentation. And there's the bell. Give that bell a press near the subscribe button. Okay, so we're going to talk today in this little sketch video about the 1914 failed Jehovah's Witness prophecy. And I've taken this information from a website called JW Facts, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. I call Jehovah's Witness or religion Jehovah's Witnessism because it's a cult, so it's an ism. And one of the most misleading statements in the Watchtower publications is that they accurately foretold 1914 to be the start of the conclusion of this system of things. That's what they foretold in 1914. That it was the start of the conclusion of the system of things and the year Jesus' rulership began. In reality, they said, was 1914 and had consistently been predicted to be the end of the system of things, and that Jesus began ruling in 1878. Can you believe it that they think Jesus began ruling in 1878? Watchtower said, bear in mind that the end of 1914 is not the date for the beginning, but for the end of the time of the trouble. And that comes from Zion's Watchtower, 1894, July 15, page 226. The Watchtower claims, it said, Jehovah's Witnesses pointed to the year 1914, decades in advance, as marking the start of the conclusion of the system of things. And that comes from Awake 1973, January 22nd, page 8. The contradictory statements above raise two critical questions. What did the Watchtower predict for 1914? And does the Watchtower honestly present its history? Very interesting questions and very shocking and surprising answers, because 1914 is the basis for the interpretation of the majority of the Bible prophecies. Most importantly, 3.5 years after 1914 is when Jesus is said to have come in to inspect and cleanse the Watchtower Society, resulting in Jesus choosing it to be the only organisation he works through in our time and the only mean of salvation. The current understanding is that significantly different to the teachings prior to 1914. And there's a list of things of what they believed, right down to the end of all governments, the resurrection and paradise on earth. You can look at that list. The ability of the Watchtower to accurately foretell the meaning of 1914 is a great source of faith for Jehovah's Witnesses unaware of what the Watchtower said prior to that date. 1914 was to be the final date of Russell's prophetic timeline and the conclusion of the matters. Nothing that Russell said about 1914 came true, and Russell was one of the original founders of the Watchtower. 1914 is the pivotal date for the existence of Jehovah's Witnesses. It is currently explained as the date that The last days began. Jesus started ruling in heaven. The Gentile times ended. 1914 is not just some date to the JWs, it's significant. Now watch how it quotes prior to 1914. And Russell taught that Jesus' invisible rulership began in 1874. And so there's a statement that he made from studies in the scriptures. You can look that up yourself or pause the video. And Russell used pyramidology to support this belief. He was into, using the pyramids for measurements, trying to turn it into years and all this other stuff. And followers were to be raised to heaven, and Jesus' kingdom would then be established as a paradise on earth way back in Russell's time. So I'm going to continue part 2, which is I'm working on now. I do want you to go to JW Facts, which is where this information comes from. It gives you all the facts about Jehovah's Witnesses. A gentleman called Paul Grundy runs that site, an Australian actually. And here's the website address for you to get more information on this subject. I'm only trying to inspire people to look further into this Jehovah's Witnessism organisation. So yep, go and have a look at jwfacts.com or .org. I'm not sure if it's .com or .org, but it's there. So there you go. This is Dr. Jason W. Marston, Theologist, New South Wales, Australia. Subscribe to the channel and press the bell, and thank you for listening. Bye for now.